cons, well, he's outspoken. He's too smart for the game. He wants football but doesn't need football. He doesn't play well with others in the sandbox. But his pros, well, he's a pretty outstanding quarterback. Rosen addressed his perceived character issues at the Combine over the weekend.
I'm not going to present a fake image of myself. Like some advice to someone with maybe issues in the past, or have these pre-rehearsed questions on, I'm sorry, I won't ever do that again. I think that you have to be yourself, you have to be authentic, and you have to show that you've learned and grown over the years. You have to own your mistakes. And I think that that's what I'm trying to show. I'm trying to show who I really am, not who I'm trying to be, because I want them to draft me, not who I don't want them to draft someone they think they're getting and then not to get that guy. So I think that's also what your teammates want, is your teammates don't want a fake shell of yourself. Teammates want you to be you every single day so that you're that reliable rock that they can count on.
It's always refreshing to hear what you believe to be a true answer, obviously, at the Combine there. Nick, do you have concerns with Rosen, with off-the-field issues?
No, none. None. I think that what he said right there is spot on. I am who I am. I'm not going to present a false version of me to help my draft stock, because then whatever team drafts me, I am there for 5 years minimum. If I'm a good player at quarterback, I'm there for the rest of my career, and you draft me under false pretenses. So it's like dating. I mean, to a degree, like if you really, really like someone, do you want them to fall in love with someone you're not? Or do you want to see if they will fall in love with who you actually are? You can present the best version of yourself, but still an honest version of yourself. The idea that Josh Rosen is being graded down by these anonymous scouts because he's smart, because he's interested in politics, because his family came from money, to me is all patently absurd. And it is, to be honest with you, the part of the NFL draft process that I like the absolute least, because it strikes me as total nonsense.
I think some of these stories are made up. I take exception to even the question, his character issues. What has he done to have bad character? Like, anytime we bring up character, someone had to do something. Josh, he hasn't done anything. I mean, he's made his opinion known, but that's not character issue. That's just someone who's been outspoken. Now, to me, I believe that you're wrong as far as the interview process and the dating process. You're not dating anyone who's showing you their real self. Everyone's camouflage. Oh, when you meet someone, you're not meeting that real person. And this guy's 21 years old. When you were 21 years old, man, you didn't know who you were. Like, so when you're trying to get a job interview, you are presenting the best version of yourself that fits into whatever job you're applying for. So I don't even believe he knows who he is yet. I know he doesn't understand what an NFL locker room is, but I believe he will be a leader in the NFL. I don't believe he has any character issues. But as far as playing the game, that's life. That's what people do. When you go to a job interview, the reason why you don't wear shorts, which you might be more comfortable, because you're trying to sell something. All right?
You can put on the best version of yourself, but still be yourself. And the reason...
At 21, how many people know who they really, really are?
Well, you know who you are at 21. Like, you know who you are in that moment, and they're not drafting Josh Rosen at 32, so whoever he is...
I'm not disputing if he should be drafted or not.
No, I know you're not. But the reason that character issues was brought up in the question is from Peter King's column this week, where it said scouts have questions about, and I quote, Josh Rosen's character, and they brought up things like that he's politically involved, that he seems to be anti-Trump, things like this that have nothing to do with football.
Well, what some of the things were that... this is just what's reported, that he's a little selfish sometimes in the locker room, that he decides to turn it on when he wants to turn it on. And
those are things, those aren't character, those are who he is as an athlete and who he is as a person. My biggest concern is when he gets hit, he falls apart.
So that's what I was going to ask.
All right, that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the characters who hit him. All right? Okay. When he gets hit in the NFL, he don't seem to get up like the other guys do. That's my biggest concern. Can his body take the pounding that he's going to take? And he's a rich kid. It's nice to come into the league and get rich, but it's hard to be in the league and you're already rich. You don't have to have football. So for me, as you start talking about these things he has interest in, as he gets hit, does he really want to pay the price like other guys have done? That, to me, is the number one question.
All right, the question about his durability is a totally fair one, but I want to ask you more about this money thing. Because I understand why having money might make a high school athlete less likely to work hard, might make a college athlete less likely to work hard. But all of these, Josh Rosen's going to be a top 10 pick. Sam Darnold's going to be a top 10 pick. There will probably be another quarterback that's a top 10 pick. The moment you become a top 10 pick, they're all rich. They all have $15+ million guaranteed. So why would the money Rosen's family has have any impact on his ability to succeed as a pro? When all those
It's human nature. When you don't have to do something. It's just like my kids. Your kids. Your kids aren't growing up like you. They don't have to do the things that we did. So when that's not... it's not forced on them, or they don't have to do it. They actually have other options. They've also been raised at a kitchen table where there's different expectations, emotionally, financially, politics. So there's different things that are going on in their life. They have different options, and they see other avenues to being rich than to being a pro athlete.
I totally agree with you, which is why I might be worried about him prior to this moment. But once he gets drafted, they're all rich.
This is what I've known. I have seen guys come into the league like him, and they don't have the stomach for the game. All right? It's not a lot of people who can sit back in the pocket and be battered on a regular basis, and let alone if they were rich. We got a bunch of poor guys. I've talked to them. But this is just my experience in the league with kids who have came in and their parents had some type of influence, or they had some type of wealth. To me, it's totally different. Now, it's just based on my 30 to 40 years of experience of playing with guys and seeing guys, and also hearing people's stories. I have seen guys in training camp show up and turn their pads in. Been like, wow, this is the greatest opportunity of your life. I don't need this. I don't have to do it. So in seeing people quit the game who had parents who were rich, I've seen that. I ain't seen no poor kids quit because they ain't had nothing to go to.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Coming up, is this year the Golden State Warriors get taken out in the West? We're not being dramatic, just a little bit. That's next on First Things First.
Is Mannix here? Mannix is here.